Let me teach you how I really stunt. Nigga, I done made it. Y'all just stay hating. Y'all were too jaded, way too complacent. Don't be not.
Thank you so much for having us at this amazing studio. What's up today? What are you doing today? Are you recording today?
Yeah, working on some new stuff. You know, just came through and just chopped a couple vocals from my boy Elliot James, and yeah, just keeping it pushing, keeping it moving.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Off the Radar, your new album. Did you record this album during Ramadan? Ramadan's our 30 days of fasting, so you're not eating. You're actually reading a lot, studying up on the religion, on Islam.
Right.
So were you recording this album during that time?
No, I wasn't. I took the month off. You know what I mean, to
Okay.
focus a little bit more. But I did go back and forth because it's like it is my job.
It is your job.
Yeah. So I had to do it. So yeah.
How is that? Is it more strenuous? Like, do you have the energy? Are you writing during that time?
I mean, I'm not so much writing because I'm in a different zone, but
Okay.
it's not really strenuous either because I've been doing it since I was like 8, so it's not like it's not
Oh,
hard
wow.
for me because I've been like already like rigorously put my mind into it, so it's just kind of like came back again. It's like NBA Finals the next year. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's
Yeah,
up. That's what's
definitely.
up. Okay, so then what was your inspiration for Off the Radar? Where did the name come from and why this album?
The inspiration directly comes from me just being away from like the music industry, like the stamp of the music industry, like people's eyes, like the commercial space.
Okay.
And I've been off the radar, of course, like building from like a grassroots perspective for 7 years. For
Okay.
people who know me, like I've been doing music since high school, so creating that for such a long time and then finally coming with a project along the lines of like commercially like acceptable and like like what Mass Appeal said. They were like, yo, this is like a radio friendly like project, like coming to that standpoint. I was like, oh, I've been off the radar for 7 years, and then I'm gonna use that just as a title. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Off the radar, like I've been away from all that, and now here's my music, and now you're gonna know who Jallal is. So I kind of like coming up on people's radars now. You know what I mean? As like a blimp on the screen, like, yo, where did this dude come from? You know what I mean? But
yeah. Features on this album:
Yeah.
Rick Ross, 2 Chainz, T-Pain, Lil Wayne, Neo. Where do you credit your success? Does that for you, like having huge names, of course, in addition to yourself, because it all starts with you?
Right.
Does that define that you've made it? Like, what really defines that you made it, or that you've created success within your career?
I think what creates success in my career is when you're able to inspire somebody or give hope to somebody. Like that's where I feel like at ease, you know what I mean? Like my music is actually speaking for itself. It's not about names, because names are names and people die off, and all that kind of stuff. Like it's reality.
Absolutely.
I think people are so caught up on like oh man, I got XYZ on a record, I got this person, and now you're dope. You're dope if you're dope at the end of the day. Like your
Right.
music is good and it'll speak for itself. So it's
Right.
like, yeah, I don't ever get caught up with the names. Like, that shouldn't be the thing of attention grabbing. You know what I mean? I think it's the actual message behind it. You know what I
Right.
mean? When you listen to the message and you're able to relate with somebody in that and relate with an artist, that's when you feel like, that's where I feel like I've done my job,
Right, absolutely. And is there a specific message that you want, even maybe as your legacy, for your followers, for your fans, to always get from your music? Is there
Yeah, of course. It's hope. I always try to inspire hope, like, and I try to push that like agenda for like people actually, who are in any sort of trials or tribulations or despair to like, switch on a record and be like, man, like I can move on to the next day, because it's so hard. I'm a realist, at the end of the day. Like I try, bringing things into perspective. It's like people forget that there's hardship in life. This world is designed to break your heart. Like it's not, picture perfect utopia. And
Right.
and if you don't have artists or artistry or people who give their blood, sweat, and tears for this, then you're never going to feel that, reaction to what the person is putting out.
Right.
And for me, it's hope.
That's what's up. I love that. Tell me more about this project. What can your listeners expect?
It was a journey making it, like anything is. When you have such a huge, vast vision and you don't know where to start from, you're just like, I want to do this. Anybody has like an idea and then they don't know how it's gonna fall, into place,
Absolutely.
right? So it was an uphill journey. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to, let's scrap this verse. You know what I mean? Or or let's add XYZ into the mix, you know what I mean, when it comes to like instrumentation of like different songs or singles on the project. But it was a bit of both, you know what I mean? Like you don't really have like one straight shot of like, this is how my project's gonna be and it's gonna sound amazing. Like I'll just like, yo, I'm gonna come through and just like try to do the best I can. You know?
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So Yassine,
Yeah.
Mos Def, better
Yeah.
known as Mos Def. He is your mentor.
Right.
Tell us about him as a mentor. You know, we know him as a rapper. We know him as an activist. So how is it with him personally as a mentor?
Man, yeah, he's a Renaissance man. Like people don't, I don't think they haven't, had that blessing. But when you see somebody who really lives and speaks and like breathes the art, like it takes it to a whole different realm for me. You know what I mean? For inspiration wise, it's like, being in the same room with somebody and it's like waking up in the morning and like, like man, like I'm on, tour with XYZ, you know what I mean? It's different, but it's like I'm on tour, with, Yassine Bey, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
and it's
right.
like I'm on tour with somebody who's, like the grassroots, like of what hip hop, really means.
Right.
And I mean, what he provides is like, being the best you can be, like in the present. You know what I'm saying? He's always like, man, be the best you can be in like the present. Like what matters is the present. It wasn't the past. It's not the future, but it's like now. You know what I mean? And those are like some things. Like that's just one of the things that he gave me. But it's like those type of things coming from an artist who actually lives and embodies it. There's nothing else you can ask for.
Absolutely. He seems like one of those mentors or just people in general that's going to be so real with you in the studio. Like he's not going to front like, lay that, right, rewrite that. Is that his energy?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, when he doesn't like something, he just doesn't respond to it.
Okay.
Which is perfect because it's like, he follows so much of like the teachings, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like, yo, like if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like, and that's when when he hears something that's popping and jamming, like he's jamming to it or he's mumbling some raps to it, you know what I mean, in a hotel room or whatever it may be, and then you're at a point where you're like, oh wow, like, you know what I mean, we got him like on a roll with like something that, we felt, was an inspiring thing. And that's for anybody who I say is, creating music and they know that feel of making like a great record. It's like, imagine that, but now like an iconic person that you look up to,
right?
Responding to something that you made,
right?
And that's literally everything, like in a bubble, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And how did that come about? Is he someone that, because you don't want to pick a mentor just because like, oh, I look up to you. You want that person to understand your sound and be able to help you grow your sound. So how did that come about, and how did it mesh well for you?
It's everything's by design. Like I gave it up to God. Like there nothing was forced. You know what I mean? Like everything just kind of fell into place.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was just like for me, I looked up to him at, like, oh, he's like the next level. He's like a Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like from somebody coming into the realm of hip hop where, somebody was popping such like as Lupe Fiasco or something, like, you know what I mean? Like they were like the dude at that time. It was like, but then you're going to like the dude who like inspires other people and without knowing, and then you have so many similarities, and it's like likeliness with that, with that person. You just become friends because it's not like I could sit down and like recite every single Mos Def song that has ever been made. You know what I mean? But that's what makes things great and so organic with somebody, because you're able to sit down and really just relate on a human like level. It's not like you're sitting there like tripping out like, oh man, he made XYZ song and did it. It's like you don't got a fanboy over things like that. You know what I mean? Like you're just there and you're just in the moment. And I think that's how the best relationships are made. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I want to talk about more of the process for you. You have a team of people, kind of counting on you. So how do you balance that but still staying true to your artistry? Because you don't want to just... Some rappers, they do put stuff out there that's just like, you can tell they didn't put as much effort in this one than that one. And you want to keep that that progression. So
yeah, I think it's something to deal with a conversation I had earlier with like a couple, people in the age category of this whole new millennial thing. You know what I mean? And us seeing the old model of how people, did things and trying to always better things, you know what I mean? Like we're always trying to create something new. So I think that has a big part to deal with the factor of not rushing things until it's at a place where you're like, yo, I know exactly how I want it to sound, and I know exactly how I want it to like, come across to people. I think that there shouldn't be any push. You know what I mean? Like there is, like for me, there is no balance. Like I'm like, yo, I gotta get it right. I gotta get it right, and we're gonna work on this till we get to a point where we're like, okay, this is dope. If it's not working out one day, then we move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? And then we're like, okay, this, we might have inspiration for this. Because when I make music, everything is directly a source of inspiration. Like if I see something happen that day, then I'm going to write about it. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like a news reporter. Like a current event is happening to me because it hasn't came out to the public. But it's like you hear it later down the line, and then it's also like a form of reminiscing too.
Almost like a subconscious thing.
Yeah.
Like it impacted you, so you can still always channel that energy.
Oh, yeah.
That's so awesome. So tell me about your background, you know, as far as coming into music. I know you said you started at 8 years old. When did you know that this was going to be a career for you? Because it's obviously, some people say it's a hard career to get into, but some, you know, it just comes naturally. So how did you know that this is what you wanted to invest your time in?
I gotta say, when I was 15, like when I was like actually like putting my, I started from spoken word, so I started from poetry first.
Wow.
So like I started writing things. So I would always write, you know what I mean? It's
Okay.
either you found me writing or you found me playing basketball, you know what I mean? Like it was either this, you know, duality, but when I actually stuck to it, there was a pinnacle in my life where it was like, yo, you gotta do this. And it was just by the signs that came to me, you know what I mean? Like a direct like response. Like it's like, you know, I was 15 years old and I was like, you know, I was able to link up with Loon, you know what I mean, from P Diddy's Bad Boys group, and it's like he was just doing that whole thing. I linked up with Loon at 15 and I was like, oh man, this guy's, you know, he's with the thing, you know, he's doing his thing. And then when I was like 15 and a half, I linked up with Lupe, and these were all coming because it's like, see, what we don't understand about like word of mouth is the power of like, you know, you create something, you tell somebody about it, and then they X, Y, Z start telling more and more people about it, and then more people start catching a wind of it, and it's not really that much degrees of separation from somebody like who's, you know what I mean, who's doing it. So it's like, I remember vividly and clearly, like I met Lupe Fiasco, and I was like, we had this conversation. He was like, yo, like, I like what you're doing. I love your music. You should continue doing it. You know what I mean? So it was this source of inspiration at such a young age, and you have so much, you know, drive and ambition. So I was like, why not? So I took with it and I started running with it, and I haven't stopped running ever since, you know. Yeah.
So what's your reaction? Because obviously every religion, you know, has there's going to be some form of judgment from certain people who, whether you consider them extremists or just people who are very sensitive and they lead with their heart about the religion. And, you know, some people say that music is haram, which is, you know, sinful. Like you're not supposed to listen to music because it's basically a drug. How do you balance that, you know, just being in the industry?
You know,
and with your music, obviously.
Right. I at the end of the day, I don't care what people think. You know, because you live alone and you die alone.
Okay.
You know? And what's said is what's said. People can interpret things the way they want to interpret it, but I think in any medium, when you're spreading truth and you're spreading a message that is constructive, it's needed. You know what I mean? Especially to people who can't sit down in a church and be like, oh man, like this dude is saying this about the Bible to me and like just shoving it down my throat, or this dude is saying this and you know, I can't understand this dude because that dude might have not came from the same place you came from. You know what I mean? Like from the same demographic or from the same, you know, background of like, you know, upbringing, you know what I mean? So I think that music is always a form of communication. You know what I mean? It's oral communication, especially when you're doing it in a right way. You know, if you're not trying to, you know, fixate people on negative things, because it's like, you don't got to speak about the negative things. The negative things are there. If you want to speak about negative things for motivation, you can do that. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool, like by any means, but it's like motivation in the right way, because a lot of artists, and this is speaking for myself first, is we forget to understand that music has so much power that it goes even down and trickles to like the youth, and when the youth are listening to it at that age, their minds are so, you know, susceptible to things and messages that can lead them to grow up to be either, you know, positive, you know, working examples of what, you know, you wanted the music to do, or the, you know, destructive end of everything, where it's like, man, now we just created another killer, you know, another rampage or another product of society. So it's like, yeah, you know, it's everything is, it comes with time.
Do you ever come across those challenges, you know, where certain Muslims come up to you and they're, you know, maybe trying to from a good heart, even just trying to tell you that what you're doing is wrong. Like, how do you face those sort of judgments or challenges?
You don't go and tell people they're doing things, wrong, because you're in no right situation to even assume or even put that type of statement on somebody, because at the end of the day, your personal relationship with God is your personal relationship with God. Like, there shouldn't be a mediator or somebody coming in and saying, yo, I just want to let you know what you're doing is wrong. Like, well, who are you to tell me what I'm doing is right or wrong? You know what I mean?
Right.
When I should be connecting with God, more importantly. Like, that's the thing. We want to like better ourselves,
have our personal relationship with God. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But then we've got Kevin Gates, who's Muslim. We've got French Montana, who's Muslim. What's your reaction to those people? Obviously, they have a personal relationship with God. They love God. Obviously, they love Allah. They go, Kevin Gates has documented himself going to Hajj. But, their music would beg to differ to some Muslims, which they're judging them and they're saying, we already are dealing with, being in a bad light. Do you look at it as, supporting that bad light, or do you see them as, what, that's their business, they have to answer to God?
Yeah, I think the latter. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has their own business that they're supposed to answer. Like, I know what I'm doing at the end of the day, that, like, and I put it on a public scale, because you become this, public figure. And,
right.
And I feel that I make sure that everything is, said right, you know what I mean, calculated out, you know what I mean, before I just throw any sort of things out there that's going to be detrimental to people's lives, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always one to push for, actually practicing what you preach, you know what I mean, on a record. It's like, there has to be a sense of connectivity with an artist. You want to know the person, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you don't want to be in the dark, you know what I'm saying?
You want to be relatable, absolutely.
Yeah, but relatable to a place where it's like relatable with yourself, relatable to what you proudly, believe.
Absolutely.
If you believe in strip clubs and popping bottles and all that kind of stuff, yo, do you? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna be here cheering you on, like, yeah, man, more power to you, bro. Like, you the one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's imperative to how you look at things, like, from a different perspective. Like, they're doing their things. They're making music, you know what I'm saying? But but for me, what I'm trying to say, it's more than making music for myself.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What's your biggest inspiration musically? Like, dead or alive? Like, who's someone that you would love to work with or even meet?
It's a tough one, because I think that there's so many musicians out there that are great now, and people in the past, there's even greater, you know what I mean, when it comes to like the creating process. I mean, there's definitely tops, but for music purposes, I would have to say Michael Jackson, like, for music purposes, you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
I think his music has always surpassed that, that level that everybody tried to box people in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So what's something that your fans wouldn't expect about you?
Wow. I don't drink or smoke, and I never drank or smoke in my life, and I think I never put that out, but today I'm putting that out. And
you've never drank or smoked in your life?
Never in my life, never.
Wow, mashallah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you talk about it in your music?
No, I don't, because I think that's just my personal thing. But I think it would be a surprise for fans, because
oh my goodness,
look at me, they might think
So why do you think you've had the opportunities to try it? Have you ever been in temptation where you're, what I'm saying, you've been with Rick Ross, like, he never tried to pass the blunt?
I just thought, being from coming from where I'm coming from, and seeing people, like, on that type of substance abuse and things of that nature, and coming up with no money, you know what I'm saying, and, like, really no money, I just thought it was stupid, you know what I mean, from an economical standpoint.
Wow.
Like, for me, because I'm like, why am I going to, spend, like, $20, you know what I'm saying, like, a dub to, like, you know what I mean, just, like, you just telling me to smoke up my money, bro. Like, I ain't got no money like that, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why am I gonna, you just tell me to roll my $20 and just burn it, you know what I'm saying? And same thing with alcohol, is like, I'm not gonna drink that, you know what I'm saying? Like, where I was coming from was they just throw me like a brisk iced tea, you know what I mean? You know about that life, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, economic standpoint, and it never turned me on. It was just never attempted to me. Like, I was out there doing other things. I was, like, playing sports and what have you, and I was just like, my mind was filled with other things that, like, I wouldn't ever think of, like, sitting down, and, like, there wasn't any, point of relaxation. You're trying to get out, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you gotta leave. Like, there is no other way. So, but they wouldn't know that about me, you know what I mean? But
now they do. Hookah?
Nah.
Hookah, not even hookah.
Pass me the hookah. Nah, never. I mean, it's just that I'm not one to sit around and like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just don't have time to indulge. You know what I mean?
It's such a great. I'll say, because I have tried some things, and it does for sure. You know, it's so good to exercise that muscle without it. You know, because now, you know, when you do find stress, you know that there's other ways of handling it. I think when anything, even if you're someone who, you know, eats a lot, people eat to take care of their emotions and feelings. If you know that that's an outlet, you're always going to see it as an option. So it's harder to quit when you go near it. That's why, you know, some people say just don't even go near it, you know? So that's so commendable. Like, I love that. If there's a theme song every time you walk in a room that's played, what would that theme song be?
I mean,
Off the wall, off the radar.
You know, I would pick. Off the rip is definitely a great song.
Off the Rip by
French Montana.
Oh.
Yeah. No, Best Believes, like this song with the Jewish dude and like Kevin Gates. You know what I'm saying? It's like that song is crazy.
I'm
man.
excited
like,
to like
that song
listen to these.
You know what I mean?
What's your favorite body part?
Oh man, I would have to say like, you know, my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause it's like it's the central nervous system of like pumping the blood and like everything. You know what I'm saying? Like to your whole body. You feel me? Like it's like, you know, second to the brain. It's like without the heart, it's like, you know, you ain't got life. You know what I'm saying? And everything has to come from the heart too. And that's just being realistic. And I feel like that's what happens with music. You know what I mean? It's transliterated through a place of like, you know, despair, hope, anger, like all these type of things. It's you know, you saying things from your heart. You know what I'm saying? You saying things from your chest, and then it's coming out. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we talk about your love life? Do you have a love life?
Man, nah. I love music.
Have you ever been in a serious relationship before?
Nah, never been in a serious relationship.
Wow.
I've been, you know, I'm semi off the radar. You know
yeah.
Play off the rip when I come in. You know what I'm saying? Just need it. No, but yeah.
But it's half your deen.
Right.
So is it, you know, it's something that, you know, you're obligated to do before you die as a Muslim.
Yeah.
Do you have an age where you're like, I need to be married by this age?
Nah, because life is not guaranteed. So I'm not really, you know, I'm just living in the moment and like just going with like creating. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's a hustle. It's a, you know, at the end of the day, when you come from the hustle mentality, you just keep creating, man, you know, and then the best will happen, you know what I'm saying? Once you keep creating, pushing, like, you know, being avid out there, you know, you're down.
So then do you have a type? Would you know when you met that person, okay, this is what I definitely don't want to deal with, and this is what I want to deal with?
I mean, you know, my type is, you know, somebody who's just very, you know, responsible, you know, modest, you know, just understanding. I push that in my records too, you know what I'm saying? Like I push like just for women to be the best people they can be, you know what I mean? To empower themselves, you know what I'm saying? Because people don't understand, like, you know, women, you know, they're running this, you know what I'm saying? Like they're out there like running the world, you know what I mean? Like they're behind all these great things that are happening, and I don't think a lot of people, you know, put light onto women like that. So I'm here to, you know, be behind every feminist, every, you know, person who's trying to empower themselves in their way of life, you know what I mean, in their beauty, in their equality. Like I'm behind it all the time.
That's what's up. So if a genie were to grant you 3 wishes for your dream girl, what would it be?
It's just somebody who I would say who just has a connection between them and God.
Okay.
Right? That one thing. Who knows themselves, you know what I mean, like really well, and like understands, you know, who they are as a person. And then somebody who you really want to raise your kids, you know what I'm saying, like and spread, you know what I mean, like knowledge too. Like you want that at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
I think you're gonna have a lot of girls trying to reach out to you now.
Oh man.
I do. I think that, like, I feel like girls, they just want to feel understood, you know, and they want to be taken seriously, and it's not often that you meet young people who are mature enough to like understand those values, especially in the music industry. I'm sure you are probably around a lot of girls who are beautiful on the outside, but then there's maybe not so much substance on the inside. They depend too much on the outside. So it's great that you see that. Is there like who would you say is like the #1 rap artist in the game right now? Who's just like killing the game right now? Maybe an album that you were like every song is fire.
I don't see anybody killing the game right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think the game needs a change. I think it needs a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? But there are great artists, you know, out there. You know, I know R&B artists. You know what I mean? Who I'm like, they're killing the game right now. You know what I mean? Like the Party Next Door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's killing it. You know what I mean? And I mean, there's rappers who are great rappers, like A$AP Rocky. You know what I mean? He's a great rapper. You know, I'm more so looking for somebody who's like, who blow my socks away. Like, damn, this dude's out here like making moves. I'm just waiting on like on somebody new to come in and be like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, that blew me away.
In 60 seconds, the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
Favorite quote.
To you be your way, and to me be mine.
What's your favorite lyric?
Oh wow, my dog's off of there.
Best music video.
Man, best music video. Yo, that Find Your Love by Drake. That was my favorite music video when I seen that.
Favorite fashion line.
Rick Owens.
Cat or dogs.
Cats.
Fried or baked.
Baked.
If anyone could headline your show, who would it be?
Drake.
If you could meet Tupac, what would you ask?
Why'd you die?
Oh.
I would ask it, why'd you die, bro? We need you.
Favorite social media platform.
Favorite social media platform. I'm just getting onto Twitter. I would say Twitter. Yeah.
Best hashtag.
That was 60 seconds.
That was 60 seconds.
I was like,
that was fun. See, we get to know a little bit, but next time we'll do another 60 seconds. I legit have like 200. This is awesome. This space is awesome.
JALLAL.com, and everything's there. You know what I mean? Facebook, Twitter, all the social medias. And yeah, shout out to SoundCloud. We just, popped something really big with SoundCloud. I love you guys, and yeah, show them more to come.
Yes, awesome. Bye, guys.
Got it. When I was young, they labeled your boy damn fool. 22s and up on my Benz truck and my old school. You get the picture, the money, it ain't